Hi guys and welcome to Dial It Up, and today we're going to do a quick little episode talking about the difference between lines of fire can't be drawn and lines of fire are blocked. Now these are two different effects in the game that are generally taken from special powers or traits or even some relics or resources. Now this is a difference that came to the forefront of the gaming community, Heroclix community, around the time that the power batteries came out, and when the indigo battery became popular and it started getting ruled on, and this was a rule that was actually in place for a while, but it wasn't really popular because the characters that had the ability of lines of fire can't be drawn weren't well used characters. One that comes to mind was the AVX Namor. He has it on his very last click, and the stealth suit Iron Man. People didn't really use him because there were so many other characters in Invincible Iron Man that just kind of shone brighter than he did. So it was around for a while, but took a while to come to the forefront. So on one hand, you have many different game effects that grant the ability effect that says lines of fire are blocked. More recently, we had Black Panther from the Age of Ultron set, and his ability is when he's adjacent to blocking terrain, lines of fire are blocked. Now that covers about 99% of things in the game that will be drawing lines of fire to you, and that'll just be blocked, and then you can't draw any lines of fire to him so long as he's adjacent to the blocking terrain. Now that 1% that it doesn't cover is pulse wave, and that is because when you break down how pulse wave works is you give the action, you draw the lines of fire, those lines of fire ignore any game effects, so by the time that line of fire gets to him, that power that he has is being ignored before it can block that line of fire. So takes away everything when it comes to line of fire being drawn to him, and then pulse wave's there and he's like, nah, I don't care about your powers. So now you got protection mostly across the board, except for, of course, pulse wave. Everybody hates and loves pulse wave all at the same time for pretty much the same reason. So on the other side of that coin is the effect that's become more to the forefront of even the metagame now, and that is lines of fire can't be drawn. So here I have the con exclusive Loki, Agent Loki, from the convention season this past few months, and his ability is that lines of fire can't be drawn to him unless you're a higher point value or you have the Asgardian or the deity keyword or mystical. Now, why this goes above lines of fire are blocked is because it stops those lines of fire from even being drawn in the first place. So, like I was talking about the breakdown of how pulse wave works, you start with giving in the action and then drawing lines of fire, but Loki is going to stop you right there, or anybody that has that kind of ability, and before you can even start to ignore things, you can't even draw those lines of fire. Now it's more prevalent against pulse wave, everybody thinks about it against pulse wave, but it's just all lines of fire. So perplex, outwit, attacks, prob, that's a really big one that players have found when fielding these types of teams, is that people forget that prob draws line of fire. So if you can't see the person to shoot them, you can't see the person to prob them either. So it's a very big difference there. Right now, this is basically at the top of the food chain. If they can't draw lines of fire to you, a lot of effects are stopped. Even, say, like Fury. So that was the difference between lines of fire are blocked and lines of fire can't be drawn. Hopefully I made that a little bit easier for you guys to understand the difference, because I find a lot of, especially newer players, get tripped up on this of, why does lines of fire being blocked doesn't stop Pulse Wave. So hopefully that explains it. And if I didn't go over everything though, you can always just comment down below, and we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Die That Up.
Married with Clix is brought to you in part by MajesticCCG.com. Check out the new premium site with MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. Check the link below. Trust me. Trying to remember that from me talking? Not going to help. You'll get awesome articles at $3 a month, with the first month being free, from amazing writers such as Paris Gordon, Easton Brock, Aaron Cantu. I'm even going to be contributing occasionally. And if you're familiar with the Metal Lab, check out some of Mike Payne's articles. So, check it out again, MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders for your look into the minds of some of the greats.